Richmond TV presents This Week in Richmond.
Hello and welcome to This Week in Richmond for February 14th. I'm your host, Jason Robbins, and this show will be letting you know what's happening in Richmond from February 15th until February 21st. First up, let's have a look at Parks and Recreation has going on. We have hall walking at Lee Elementary on February 15th, 20th, and 21st starting at 6 p.m. and going until 8 p.m. Drop-in fee is $1, or you can get a punch card for $12, and that'll give you 15 punches. Strength and balance classes will be held at the Community Center from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on February 15th. Right after is the Young at Heart cardio class from 10:15 a.m. to 11 a.m. Cost is $6 for a drop-in or a $30 punch card. Join Parks and Rec on Saturday, February 17th at 11 a.m. for their pierogi making class. It is $50 per person. All supplies are included. Just bring your own apron. Pre-registration is required. To register, go to www.cityofrichmond.net or contact the Parks and Rec Department at 586-727-3064. Beginner's yoga class at the Recreation Center will be on February 19th and 21st at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. It is $8 drop-in or purchase a 6-class punch card for $40. Call the Parks and Rec Department at 586-727-3064. to register. A reminder that you will need to bring your own yoga mat. Next up, we have the Roosevelt Civic Auditorium report. Pickleball will be set up on February 15th, 18th, and 21st, 9 a.m. until noon. The cost to use the pickleball court is $4 per visit. Wednesdays at the Odd will continue on February 21st for 4th grade students and up. This event goes until 5:30 p.m. and includes open gym, homework help, arts and crafts, and snacks provided by Macomb Family Services. Fee for this event is $3, and all students must do is sign in at the front desk. Adult Open Gym will be on February 16th, 6 to 9 p.m., and is $4 to visit. Youth Open Gym is on February 18th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. and is $3 per visit. For the Lois Wagner Memorial Library, Richmond Readers Program will begin on February 15th, starting at 3:30 in the library's meeting room. Call the library for more information. Reading programs for toddlers and kids are going strong. Preschool Storytime for ages 3 to 5 years old will be on February 15th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Lat Sit Plus for ages 16 to 36 months is happening on February 20th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Senior exercise at the library will be on February 19th and 21st from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. No cost or registration required. The exercise is at your own pace, and instructor will just guide the activity. Call the Lois Wagner Memorial Library for more information. The Friends of Lois Wagner Memorial Library will have their regular meeting on February 20th starting at 5:30 p.m. in the library meeting room. City Council will be meeting on Monday, February 19th at 7 p.m. in the City Council chambers at City Hall. Now, for On Your Radar, the Richmond Community Theater will be having their performance of The Play That Goes Wrong on March 1st through the 3rd and 8th through the 10th. Adults are $20, students, seniors, 65 plus are $15, and kids 7 and under are $5. For tickets and showtimes, you can call 586-727-9518 or go to their website, richmondtheater.com. They will be joining us on the February 28th show. On February 3rd, the Parks and Rec Department put on their annual chili cook-off at the Odd for the first time in years. Here's how it went. The City of Richmond Parks and Recreation Department puts on the annual chili cook-off on the first Saturday of February. They moved it this year to the Roosevelt Civic Auditorium, also known as the Odd. For $2 in donations, you can go and try any chili you want and also cast your vote for your favorite chili. The Chili Cook-Off is a time-honored tradition in Richmond. In the past, it has been at the Recreation Center in Beebe Park, which is a smaller space than the Odd.
Oh, it's so nice to have all the extra space. To be able to offer it to the community and to have this space to host the chili cook-off again is great.
Chili wasn't the only thing going on to celebrate. Ice carvings were also plentiful. Tifa selected this dog carving in memory of Bill Ruff, their chairman who passed away this past summer. We talked with one of the ice carvers from Finesse Ice, Lindsay Pritchards, about ice carving and what she loves about it.
I am from Davisburg, but our company is Finesse Ice. Trying to do something creative, doing something different. Not a lot of people have had the experience of getting to carve on ice, so it's a unique thing to say that you can do. Lately I've been into like ocean animals. We just had a festival in Rochester and they had an ocean theme thing, so that was really fun to do all the sea creatures.
When you get to the chili cook-off, you paid your $2 and you are given a tray and a voter card. You go around to the chili tables and take a sample. After trying all the chili, you cast your ballot. There are first, second, and third place winners.
This weekend so far we have 12, broken down into 4 different categories. We have a home-cooked category, we have a business category, we have a nonprofit, and then a public service. We do not do an overall winner. Our biggest majority of winners goes to the home-cooked winner, where we place first, second, and third. Everybody will receive a trophy, but the home-cooked ones are the ones that receive the trophy as well as like a cash gift card.
The annual Chili Cook-Off is a strong competition with a varying array of tastes and entries, making it quite competitive amongst those who prepared their best chili. We talked to last year's winner, Lois Spiretti, who was featured on Magnolia Network's Silo Baking Competition.
Total competed. I started competing with food back in 2009 up at Senders in Frankenmuth. This is only my 3rd year competing with the Richmond Chili Contest, though. You always have a target on your back, but I put out a very good chili today. We'll see what the people think. When I'm cooking something as opposed to baking, it's two different things. Cooking, I add things, I sniff, and then I have my tasting spoons, and then I'll add more. When I'm baking is chemistry and it's science, and I have to weigh all my ingredients, so everything is precise. So this is dump, sniff, taste, add more.
One of the biggest draws was being back at the Odd.
I think it's really good. It's a nice space for a lot of people to come in and enjoy good chili.
Chili Cook-Off's awesome at the Odd. It's nice that it's back here. It used to be here years before, but it's great. It's a great facility.
I actually think it's a good idea. It's much more spacious. When it was at the community center, I worked it last year. I wasn't with the chili, but I did work behind the scenes and everything, and it was very crowded. So I enjoy it.
Everyone wins at the chili cook-off between the community and the good food. Bringing the cook-off back to the Odd has allowed it so a lot more people can attend this event. And we can't wait for next year to do it again. Welcome back to This Week in Richmond. I'm joined now by Richmond City Clerk Heather McAllister. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me today.
How you doing today?
Great, thank you.
All right, so we're going to talk about early voting and where do I vote on Election Day and what do I need to bring?
So the upcoming election, the presidential primary, is scheduled for February the 27th. Depending on where you live, if you live north of Division Road, you're going to vote at the community center at BB Park. If you live south of Division Road, you're going to vote here at City Hall in the council chambers. The voting hours are from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. on Election Day, but this year we are offering early voting for voters that was just recently passed. So.
Now, when people come in to vote, do they need do they need their registration card or do they need their state ID?
So absolutely, you are going to be required to bring in picture identification, and that's all you need to vote. Now, in the event that you don't bring your identification, you are able to fill out an affidavit of identity, which will allow you to vote, just stating that you do not have your identification with you.
Okay. What exactly is early voting and where is it?
So early voting is new this year for every federal and state election that was passed in November of 22, and that allows 9 days of early voting prior to the presidential election or any state election. Now, the 9 days of early voting is going to be held here for both precincts 1 and 2, and the hours are going to be from 8:30 a.m. until 4:30.
All right. How is early voting different from voting on Election Day?
So the early voting just pretty much is essentially the same, with the exception of it does give the voter a little more flexibility. If you have a busy schedule, you can come in. The early voting is going to start on February the 17th up until February the 25th. So that is the 9 days of early voting. But there is no early voting, no in-person voting on the Monday before Election Day. So with early voting, they have allowed voters, if you did apply for an absentee ballot, you are able to bring in that absentee ballot and feed it into the tabulator if you don't wish to mail that ballot in.
Okay. If I vote during early voting and my candidate drops out of the race, or I change my mind, am I able to cast a new ballot?
Unfortunately not. Once that ballot is cast, whether in-person voting or your absentee ballot is placed in the tabulator, that's it. There is no retrieving the ballot. Your ballot is tabulated. The results, on the other hand, are not actually closed until Election Day. Now, if you were to apply for an absentee ballot and you mailed that in, you certainly can retrieve that ballot and spoil it leading up to the day before Election Day. So in the event your candidate did drop out or you changed your mind, you just come into City Hall, fill out it, I want to spoil my ballot, and you would be issued a new ballot. But once it's placed in the tabulator, that's it.
Gotcha. All right. Do I need a reason to become an absent voter?
Nope. There's a no reason absentee voter. You just come in, fill out an application, and you can become an absent voter.
Now, can I do that up until the election, or is there a certain period of time?
So if you do request an absentee ballot, you can request it up until Friday before Election Day for it to be mailed out. In the event you asked for an absentee ballot on the day before Monday, you would have to actually vote that ballot here in City Hall on the Monday and surrender it at that time.
Okay. What is the difference between absent voter and perm ballot voter?
So the perm ballot voter was just established with that Prop 2 in November, and there are voters that are on the permanent absent voter list, which everybody has known from years ago, and you fill out an application each election cycle in requesting a ballot for that entire year for any election. The state is now going to be retiring the absent voter, the permanent absent voter, and they have converted it to the perm ballot. Now, essentially, it is the same, that you are going to be receiving an absentee ballot in the mail prior to the election, but the perm ballot is eliminating all the paperwork for all future elections. So it's a one-time sign-up. Once you fill that documentation out, there's no longer a reason to request a ballot. We automatically are going to send you a ballot for every election moving forward.
All right. How can I find out if my absent voter ballot was received by the clerk's office?
So you can easily call the clerk's office, or if you go to the MVIC, State of Michigan's website, go to the voting link, you easily just type in your name, your birthday, and you are able to track your ballot and or your application to see when it was mailed out, if the clerk has received it, if she or he has received your ballot as well.
Okay. So if people want to find this information, where can they go to get it?
Easily go to the City of Richmond's website, cityofrichmond.net. Go to the clerk's election page, and you'll find all the information, or easily just call my office, 586-727-7571.
And one more thing. I know a lot of times it's a struggle to get election workers during the election season. So how would someone go to apply to be an election inspector?
So you just easily come in, fill out an application. By filling that application out, that doesn't necessarily qualify you as an election inspector. There is a training that is required. And that certification is good for 2 years. So once you fill out the paperwork, you do have to establish what political party you are, either Democrat or Republican. Unfortunately, independents are not acknowledged on the inspector application. The state only recognizes the two parties. Fill that out. We'll get you trained, and we're always looking for workers.
All right. Thank you again, Heather, for joining us today. You can view any of this information on www.cityofrichmond.net. You can also call this City Hall at 586-727-7571 for any additional information that you may need regarding elections.